There's a couple of words that have been grabbing people's attention these days. In all caps in the titles of videos. Slapped onto thumbnails. Being said over and over again on streams. People screaming them into the heavens. Genshin Killer. There's no arguing that seeing the words Genshin Killer rustles some jimmies. But is it true? Is there actually a Genshin Killer? This video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. Tokyo Treat is a monthly pop Japanese snack subscription box. You will get up to 20 of exclusive, limited edition, and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks that are only available in Japan for a limited time. Spring has arrived in Japan, and with it comes the much anticipated cherry blossom viewing season, known as Hanami. Experience the enchanting beauty of Japan's Sakura season with Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co's special Sakura box. This month's boxes feature a beautifully designed Sakura-themed box filled with a lot of Sakura-inspiring snacks and teas. Each Tokyo Tree box comes with a booklet with allergen information and also some little cultural insights. For example, while Sakura are famously beautiful, they are a reminder that nothing lasts forever. Sakura actually have a very short lifespan. So if you're actually there in Japan, they even have something called like the Sakura forecast, where you can keep track of it, of when it's going to be blooming in your area. It's very, very cool. This Tokyo Treats theme is Sakura Snacktastic. Check out the Spring Cracker, Sakura Castella Cake, Sakura Shortbread Cookie, and many, many more. And if you're enjoying the sound of that, check out Sakura Co's Beauty of Sakura box. More Sakura snacks that pairs perfectly with their sweet Sakura tea, and also comes with a tableware item. Look at that thing! That's adorable. By ordering Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co boxes, you can experience Japan from the comfort of your own homes. What I love most about Tokyo Treat and Japanese snacks in general is that they're very seasonal, and this box is a perfect example of that very thing. They have Sakura flavored everything because it's the spring season. I think because Japan has this rotation of seasonal snacks, they make them very special. Plus they just taste good. I would like to try the Sakura Shortbread Cookie. It's made with actual Sakura extract. Very nice crunch. That shortbread has a nice fresh taste to it, and it has that hint of that Sakura blossom flavor in the back, and that actually kind of lingers a little bit. That's a good cookie. If you're at all interested in picking up Tokyo Treat, then I highly recommend you use my affiliate link right there in the description, in the pinned comment down below, and use code ROSCHI, ROSCHI, for $5 off of your first purchase. Thank you to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co for sponsoring this video. Hello Internet, it's I the Roshi, and I have a new kind of video today. I want to talk about the Genshin Killer. As you know, Wuthering Waves is currently having its second closed beta test. I've had the privilege of playing some of the game so far, and I plan on playing it a lot more because it's genuinely a lot of fun. I stream it over on my Twitch and I post the VODs here, so if you're really curious about what I think in the moment, you can check those out and get an idea. And I definitely plan on talking more about Wuthering Waves in a video in the future. But this video is about the Genshin Killer. Oh, but Roshi, you just said Wuthering Waves. That is the Genshin Killer, right? That's what everyone's talking about. Is Wuthering Waves actually the Genshin Killer? And the answer to that is no. Ah, that's right, because the only Genshin Killer that there is Genshin itself. I get it, yeah. Totally makes sense. That is also wrong. Oh, well then that just means that Genshin Impact's just the perfect game. It can't be killed. That is very, very far from the truth. Genshin Impact has a lot of problems, and I mean a lot of problems. It by no means is anywhere close to being the perfect game. It might be your perfect game, and I'm sorry to hurt your feelings if I just did, but it is definitely not the best game there ever was, or ever will be. Well, if I'm saying that, then what the heck is my point? Well, I'm gonna start yapping and eventually I'll get there. I might say some things that are going to sound pretty harsh. I don't sugarcoat this shit. Genshin Impact has the ultimate buff of COVID. It really does. It can't be argued. It's made its mark in history. You can't erase it. You can't buff it out. It's here to stay. So just because it's famous means it can't be killed? That's not the point of this. The point is, because it blew up in a time where people needed something to feel normal, needed something to feel comfortable. You have these people who are going to be with this game forever. Genshin Impact has solidified its audience. Sure, the team behind Genshin have made some mistakes and people get angry every once in a while, but guess what? 72 hours later, people forget and they forgive and become complacent, and it's just okay. And that's only talking about the people who do get heated in the moment. There are still plenty of people within that community that just don't care and just want to enjoy the game that's in front of them. They don't care about the rewards. They don't care about the communication to the dev team. They think everything is super great and sparkly and shiny and rainbows and oh my god, happiness. They do not care. And because they do not care, they are there forever. And that's a lot of people. But Roshi, now you're not giving all these other gacha games a chance. Wuthering Waves is so good. It's great. It's amazing. It's doing so many things better in just its beta than Genshin has ever done in its 3-year plus lifespan. And you know what? This is actually very true. Wuthering Waves is an amazing beta test so far. Even the actual Wuthering Waves gacha element itself is 1,000 times better than what Genshin has. Wuthering Waves characters are more expressive, its combat is fantastic and will actually require skill at some point, and not to mention they also have echoes, which are the same as artifacts but in the form of creatures treated like Pokemon, and they give you passives and abilities to use in combat, from status effects to you transforming into something to actually appearing on the field attacking for you. All sorts of unique things. This game is very, very fun. Its exploration is a lot of fun, being able to run up walls and grapple to places. Its glider needs a little work, but you know, it could still be improved. And honestly, if you have caught my streams or my VODs, I have made comments about maybe the environment still looking a little dull, maybe the colors on the characters kind of muted. I thought about it, and even though I still agree with some of the points I made, I have to say that it's grown on me. A lot of people have said that it's bland, it's boring, Wuthering Waves, it's void of a style. It very much has a style. Its style is gritty, it's dark, and depressing. Not that I'm depressed playing the game, but as in the tone of the game isn't like super vibrant and happy and carefree. And there's more I could talk about, but that's going to be in a different video where I purely focus on Wuthering Waves. But now, sure, I said all these great things about this new game. How can it not be the Genshin Killer? In order for Wuthering Waves to be a Genshin Killer, Genshin needs to disappear to the point where there is barely anyone playing the game. And just based on Genshin Impact's history, that's not a thing that's going to happen anytime soon. There might be Genshin players who also play Wuthering Waves, just like how there are Genshin players who play other games, such as Honkai Star Rail. There's plenty of space for both to exist. So I ask you, other content creators, if you were to ever see this, what do you mean by Genshin Killer? Do you honestly think in your heart of hearts that Wuthering Waves is going to cause Genshin's entire community to say, yeah, fuck Genshin, and play Wuthering Waves? So if you see this, please explain to me like I'm little bro, okay? Because maybe I'm missing something. I could just be missing something. But for me, a Genshin Killer would mean that Genshin is dead in the water because of another existing game. How does Genshin Impact get killed? Just because another promising game comes out, which can technically coexist? Or does a Genshin Killer classify as a game that has better sales and more playtime? I'm just saying, if Wuthering Waves comes out on top of Genshin Impact by being #1 in all gacha games ever to exist, I don't think second or even third place for gacha games is considered a death. Maybe people believe that Wuthering Waves is the Genshin Killer because it's going to introduce more hardcore combat stuff. Of course, yes, you would have some people who do want that challenge. At the same time, you're still going to have the people who don't care for that because Genshin Impact is made of more casual players than anything. so they're content where they are. There's just so many people here dealing in absolutes, saying that it has to be this way or it's this way and that there's no middle ground. And buddy, that's not how the world works. It's not black and white. It's a shade of gray, and it's the same exact shit with this gaming stuff. It's never going to be one way or the other. There's always a middle ground. I used to think that the only thing that could kill Genshin Impact would be Genshin Impact itself, so much so that I even replied in the comments here and there expressing that thought. However, now, looking back at that, that's silly, and that's just simply not the case. I truly think the only way Genshin Impact could destroy itself is if they completely gutted their game. You literally have to remove the story from the game, and that just doesn't make any sense. So why are we thinking that the only Genshin Impact killer could be itself in a scenario that would never realistically ever happen? What I'm hoping for is that there will be good competition between the two. Ideally, Genshin Impact will inevitably see the success that Wuthering Waves has, and they will try to improve themselves. And if that's not the case, well then at the very least, Wuthering Waves wants to be considered a rival. They want to be competition for Genshin Impact. They have no reason to not want to improve themselves again and again and again to get themselves in that #1 spot someday. Wuthering Waves in general has the potential to become a great game, to be a great competitor, and could definitely surpass Genshin Impact, solely based on the fact that their development team actually listens to their players. They rewrote 90% of the story, and that doesn't mean that the story is better, but at least they did their best in trying to fix things that the community said needed to be fixed. So even if it turns out to be meh, they still tried and put effort into something and actually made a change. And I haven't heard a successful story of Genshin Impact actually implementing anything that actually mattered that the player base has asked for. So that alone means that Wuthering Waves can surpass Genshin at one point in time or another, and maybe even stay there if it keeps up that speed. But that doesn't mean that Genshin dies. It'll still have its fans, it'll still be played, it's still gonna be in the top 3 regardless, and because of that, I don't consider that a death. So what is a Genshin killer? What is the definition of killer? If you want to and are able to, it is okay to play more than one game. It is okay to put one game down to pick another one up, and then to go back to the other game. And listen, I know a lot of what I've been saying sounds very back and forth, kind of like fence sitter status, but here's the thing. I do have a side to stand on. I stand on the side of logic and reason. People can play more than one game. People don't have to play more than one game. Is it going to change things? Maybe. Is it going to change things to a significant point where one game is going to completely fall off the face of the planet? No, they're both going to have their fan bases, and that's just what that is. I look forward to playing more Genshin Impact, and I look forward to playing Wuthering Waves when it's completed, and to watch that game grow into, hopefully, a masterpiece. So, that's my stance. And if anyone out there is offended or hurt by my takes about this, then honestly, I think you need to reevaluate your own, because honestly, that says more about you than it does me. There is no Genshin killer. Genshin can't kill itself. I purely made this just to share my thoughts and express how I'm just kind of tired of seeing the words Genshin killer because they literally mean nothing. I'm sorry, that's not true. They're keywords used for clicks. That's all they're good for. And if you do happen to be a fellow content creator out there that does want to share perspectives and so on and so forth, discuss things, all that jazz, I would be more than happy to do so. But despite what I said, I want to know your opinions in the comment section down below. So let me know, is Wuthering Waves a Genshin killer? Is the only Genshin killer Genshin itself? Or does it ultimately not matter at all? But with that said, I think I've ranted enough. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it as always. If you like this kind of video, let me know and I can, share my opinions about things more often when stuff arises for me to do so. But anyway, that's it. Thank you so much. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a like on the video. Check the description for additional ways to support me. All that jazz. Until next time, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.